everyone, welcome back to EMD'S Media. Today we are going to be making your own personal Pixar logo effect. If you haven't checked out the actual effect, make sure to click the card right here in the top right corner, and this will actually show you the effect so you know what you're going to be making today. This effect is pretty easy. It involves a lot of rotoscoping. So first, we're going to want to get our lamp, right? So we want to start with just making the lamp. That's the only part we're actually taking from the Pixar logo footage. So download the Pixar logo footage, just search it up on YouTube or wherever you may want to, and drop it into the comp. Okay, and once it's in the comp, so let's get to the first frame where we see the actual right there. And now we shall begin. Now you have to start making the actual lamp shape mask. And you're going to do that the whole process. And I'm going to just shorten up the video here. And actually, we're on the wrong layer. We have to. This layer has to be selected, and create a mask. You have to create the mask, and then we're going to do a stop frame and continue that. I'll show you it here, a shortened version of it, just a little bit of it, because it takes so long. Right here. Okay, so once all you're to this, all right, and that looks pretty good. So I just have this layer in the background. Don't worry about that. That's something else. We're not going to worry about that. Once you masked out, we're going to want to create the background, right? So let's drag in. I want to drag in the actual footage again. We're just gonna. Don't even worry about the scaling. This is just a smaller version of it. So let's create a new layer, a new solid layer, and we'll call this the background. Okay, and let's just bring this guy on top. Let's go to Effects. We're going to go to Generate, and we'll do Gradient Ramp. All right, and for this color, I'm going to grab this blue, and I'm going to grab that white. Okay, and then we have to kind of, I wanted this a little lighter. Yeah. Okay. And we'll just play around with the ramp a little bit. That's great. So now, let's put the background in below, and we'll lock this image up. Great. Okay. So now it's time to add the text. We want to add the text that you want to put in. So we're going to go to our text layer, and I'll do EMD'S Media like that. Okay, and we'll want to make it black This is a close font to the Pixar font. I just went online and found one that matched. So let's put this in the middle of our composition. Layer, transform, center in view. And that'll center it all up like that. But we are going to now scale it. We're going to want to scale this out. So we're going to make it bigger. Let's get the... we're going to put the text in between the background and the Pixar lamp. So just position it so it matches up like that. A good, I think I spaced out, yeah. So let's bring in the scale a little bit. Yeah, that gives it a real Pixar-esque look. Okay, so that's the first part of the text. So now we have to actually line up where the what letter is going to be pounced on. I'm going to go with the D here. So we're going to have to just mess around with the scale a little bit more until it fits. So that's probably the best. Okay. And again, I'm not taking as much time as I did on the original, just because I already did this, and this is just a, you know, you could play with it a lot more than I will here. This is just me recreating it again, so I'm just going through the motions here. Okay, so in the actual Pixar logo, there is a shadow. So let's make a shadow. Super easy. Let's take our text layer, duplicate it, name it shadow. Shadow. Okay. And we're going to make it 3D by clicking that button there. And let's go to rotation. The X rotation we're going to change to -90. All right. And let's go into our custom view here. Let's put the actual EMD'S media as well. We're going to take the opacity of, the opacity down a little bit so we know which one, so we can differentiate a little easier. Okay. So now we can actually go to a side view. Okay, and then we'll take the position of the Y and move it down like that, so it is level with the other text, like so. And then the position of the X, of the Y, wow, okay, of the Z, there we go. So now we have this homemade shadow, like so. Okay. So we're going to, let's just see how that looks. Doesn't look too bad. It needs to come up on the Z axis, on the Y axis rather. Just a little bit. And even bring the rotation of the Z, of the X axis up a little bit. and it gives us that look. We can move the position of the x-axis to the side just a tad, and it still needs to be brought up just to be level with that. Okay, so that's a very strong shadow. Let's get some blur onto that. So we're going to add a Gaussian blur. So effects, blur and sharpen. And we'll add that. Let's do the blurriness. I'm going to say 11.5. And that's going to give us a nice little blur. All right. So it's subtle. It's there. It looks great. Okay. So this next part, we have to manipulate only one letter. So we have to take this D here, or in your case, whatever letter you're going to have the lamp step on, and animate that. I'm going to be using this effect called DecomposeText. It does a great job making the layer that you've selected of text its own individual layer. You could do this as well yourself, just by creating each different text, each different letter as their own layer, and then space it out the way you want. Just make sure it looks, it's evenly spaced. But one click of this, and then window will pop up, and then original posting using character expressions. We decompose, and then it will actually take each layer and make it its own. Okay, so after that, you'll see a bunch of text layers like this. And it actually spells out EMD'S media. So we're not going to need any of these except for the D. So we could just hide them. So now we have properties of just the D within the text layer. So now we can actually animate that D. So we're going to be using the scale, the Y scale. So let's get it up here. The scaling of these letters, it's a little small, I've noticed throughout the process. If you go to my actual effect, I'll show it here. The letters are much more in tune with the character. It's just, again, I'm going through this fast just for the sake of the tutorial. But that's fine. So let's keyframe this, and we're literally going to go frame by frame. And it's not too bad. It doesn't. Okay, let's start that keyframe here. No, actually, we'll start it. We'll start it there. And then he steps on it. It's a little off here. Again, you understand the idea that once he steps on it, the D will, oh, I forgot, I'm sorry. We need to change the anchor point for this layer. So let's change the anchor point to the bottom of this D here. And And now we can do that, right? And then as he goes up, it goes back to normal, its normal size. And then as he comes down, it goes all the way down. So as you get the point. I'm not going to go through it all. I did it actually pretty well in the first one that I did. You got to match the scaling of when it's not on, and you can actually make it go up and then down real quick. That'll give it a nice bouncy effect. I actually didn't do that in the original. It's something that just slipped my mind. But as he continues to constantly be moving, you can, do that. And I think he comes up one more time. Yeah. And again, I'm just going through real quick here. So now I just want to show you again how to do the last part, which is right here. So he comes down and then right all the way down like that. We're going to go back one frame. We're going to go to the opacity, keyframe it at 100, go to the next frame and hit 0, and that'll get rid of it. So this is just a really rough cut. It's going to look, see, so you have to, that's something I forgot to explain. Okay, so as you could see how he's growing. So make sure we don't want to do that. So we have to make a keyframe before the stop. So this frame, you got to copy this, or you just do it before you make the next move. Go one frame before it, boom. So now it won't move until he hits it again. Right, so go through that for each one. So he's not making the move before he hits. And again, you could see that on the one I did. He doesn't move, then he moves. He doesn't move. So you have to have the keyframe of your last position right before the keyframe of your new position. Okay? So then once you're done with that, take these keyframes, copy them, go to the shadow. We're going to do the same thing, create each text, and we're going to look for the D for the shadow. I believe it's this one. Yep. We'll go to, let's get into an active camera here. Okay. We're going to change the anchor point of the D, so the same point area in which we did it to the regular, like that. Just jump back in, match up the same keyframe, go to scale, we can paste those keyframes in, and then the shadow will also be doing the movement. And then we just change again, go back keyframe, go to opacity, it's chilling at 36, keyframe, and then it's gone. And that's really it. That's the gist of the effect. Again, I just kind of rushed through it. You should really spend a lot of time, lining up the text, making the shadows look good, really animating the one you're bouncing on. and make it look cool, because this is a really cool effect. And you know, the fact that you could just do it right in After Effects, you know, even though there are 3D elements to it, is really tutorial. Make sure to like and subscribe if you did. Stay tuned for more tutorials in the future with more great content. So I will see you guys in the next video. I hope you enjoyed this one. See you guys later.